101.3 Nigeria. Good morning to you, Lagos, Nigeria. Welcome to the second part of Dailies today, where we take a look at papers headlines on Quadry.
And I'm Jimi Disu. Morning,
I
everyone.
don't have time. 7:37 is time, so you can just join us on Facebook and YouTube as we go along this morning. Let's start with the Vanguard newspaper. Why Buhari can't honor reps summons? Malami.
Yeah, thank you. Wow. I'm wondering where to start from. Now, after the way things run presidency as such that you would have some kind of committee, which of course would include the defense, maybe the what do you call National Defense Advisor? Is that his
Yeah, National
title?
Security Advisor.
Advisor, yes.
Right.
Would have Malami, would have key people, and will be headed by the chief of staff that meet at least twice a week, and then of course with Femi Adesina and so on.
Right.
To look at what's going on in the country, how the presidency should react to it, and how the president should be positioned to these things. I thought that is how these things go, and I think that's to me that when the president agreed, I told you what the elected really.
Yes, you did.
Yes, and all these, all these would have been a party decision to the assembly. But after that had agreed to have invited or wanted to pay a visit, whatever it's. Only for the Attorney General to turn up at the last minute and say it's unconstitutional, of a complete dysfunctional government, and it gets embarrassment ever. Also, I believe, we leave the argument about the constitution otherwise. The Court of Law and Civil Case of Nigeria when they haven't banter but it's a waste of it's a waste of big time. What it does is that it's taking away the minds of I was talking about was that he said we are no longer talking about the main issues.
Right.
We are now talking about the legality. We got a lot of this in Babangida's time, I must say. And that's about the major issues. I don't with all that. What we need from this government is to address the security situation in the country and the economic situation. What we need is for the government to reinforce people's confidence in the was given to them. And therefore, the kind of propaganda that you say, at the very least, embarrassing. I mean, in all honesty, something is functionally wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, Sheriff. Did you ever have this kind of thing when Obasanjo was president?
No.
That was because Obasanjo was hands down on the job. So you can see from this, the president has already announced that he's going to the National Assembly. Is after that shouldn't it? Which one to come before the other?
Right.
And it's a very sad, very very sad thing. Look, I suspect that there's a third force somewhere, where it probably had divided and decided that and it set up a quick committee and invite even the leader and after they're members of the party and chairman to say, look, how go and do this?
But to meet him, and they had a meeting with him, and the report was that it was the decision at that meeting that the president shouldn't go for the National Assembly.
Well, leave that.
Okay.
All what you're seeing is a whole lot of propaganda to divert people's minds away from the real issues. And I will plead we don't fall for it. I will plead that we don't fall for it. You can see dysfunction. Even look at the reaction yesterday. I understand that the publicity machine or information machine of president has some Twitter warriors and so on and so forth. There's no problem.
You were told?
I was told.
They've always had.
I know. There's no problem with that. Okay. Every government does that. But you need people who are sensible. Like there's one gentleman now, I'm going to take him up on for cyberbullying, who said that yesterday I said that the president should be removed by force.
Imagine that.
I found that quite unfortunate. He even went as far as TSS. People remember these and these Twitter warriors. Remember, there's a passing day.
Right.
One day, your principal will no longer be in government, and you can be called.
And tables will be turned.
Tables will be turned, and you can be called to account, for the things that you do. So I'm going to plead that everybody be careful with what you say and what you push out. Back to the issue.
Right.
The issues are very, very clear. Nigerians want to know what is the way forward on the economic front. Everybody and having this here. Look, we're losing confidence in leadership. And for this should be flop people.
Excuse me, that the president is actually bound to protect Nigeria's security architecture.
Look,
that he can't go before the National Assembly and be sure to say it.
Look, this was not, of course, nobody discussed security issues with the Assembly. They would use it for him to address it.
Yeah, we said it
No,
yesterday.
there was no way. Look, we're not stupid. These people should stop this. Nobody would have thought that it would be the security assembly of about 500. Nobody does that. It was without him having to addresses the nation. Is the sensitivity is upped. But if he addresses the National Assembly, we can all pick it up. It will be live, and we can pick it up from there. That was the whole exercise. That is what I think was the thought behind it.
We should have been an advantage. Even if have to, I seen advocating Port Harcourt yesterday. Even if you go there to talk about security issues, see, there are things that he can talk about without delving into the intricacies of national security.
Sheriff, don't things are quite obvious. He was going to go there virtually to address the nation. Okay, now the Attorney General says that you cannot summon him. Can he decide to visit them? He's able to visit them and address them. Why having problems with them? And if they can't summon him, can be invited?
Yeah.
He can be invited. Look, the politicians are wasting our time. And what is getting very clear as we see the two major issues that are put down. And there's a whole lot of time wasting. Look at how the whole issue of NSAS was diverted into what happened at Lekki.
Right.
And then somebody put up some boogie that there was going to be some demonstration on the 7th, and of course there was none planned. Don't you get
right? Right.
There was none planned. Look, whoever is devising these schemes on behalf of for the president needs to know people some of the time you cannot follow all of the time. I think that rather than bury heads, like there is a need for both the party. Let me make this clear. This is not about supporting Buhari or whatever. Let's make that or that you don't like him. When we say these things, it's about the future of the country.
Right.
So I get hurt when people say it's like to raise an alarm when I didn't say something. And I'm taking that. I've heard it taken.
Right. Jimi, let's quickly take a look at another head. FG unfolds 7th agenda to tackle Apapa gridlock as maritime workers suspend planned strike.
It took the threat of the work site to wake up to what now another 7-point agenda to tackle the gridlock. And I'm not interested in the agenda. I'm interested in getting the job done. And within 2 to 3 weeks, let us have a smooth operation there. But in the task force of extortion,
right?
It says that the House of Reps has said the federal government should pay attention to the construction of access roads linking seaports. It's also accused the presidential task force set up to decongest the ports of extortion and worsening the gridlock in the area. The House specifically asked that a greater part of 2 months' revenue generated by Papa Porting can be committed to the construction of all the access roads for optimal revenue for the country. We are losing a lot of money, a lot of man and material, by this perennial traffic situation.
Our we see outside right now is called for clearance of your cargo. It's difficult to move your merchandise, your cargo away from the port straight to wherever you are, taking them to it's really expensive.
I think that's a lot of revenue that you want to use.
Let's go to the point. Government no mandate, no criminal strike suspension. ASU, that's from the Punch for you today.
I think both the government and ASU,
right,
haven't placed a premium on the fact that our students in our universities, haven't been to school for close to a year. And I consider that very unfortunate. Indeed, I saw something in the papers yesterday where NAN said that, if this situation continued, they would lock down private universities.
Right.
And I don't know what it is. But I read people at Finland. Now the ASU or the lecturers are saying there's no agreement on structure. What are the issues contentious that's over a year? I don't understand this. These people should not be associated with all this. I don't have to intervene. It's going to be a semester to have calling the various parties, reach out to them, and then within 2 weeks, let's have a solution and have our universities open. It's very, very unfortunate.
Quite unfortunate, really.
Very, very unfortunate.
Quite unfortunate.
Why do we have the future of our children and the future of our country? Mainly because, and I hate this, a lot of all of them, they ship their children to other countries, Europe, and some places.
Sad, but that's the only thing I can say. Pensioners reject Biano's rise, demand entitlement. There you go, Jimmy.
It's a kind of the hope
It's time for Christmas, you're pushing prices.
rather than pay them and
Money there.
but that is happens to opposition. They're the same. You know, you impoverish the people, you now give them palliatives. You impoverish the people, you now give them Philip. What's the name of that thing again? You give them empowerment.
Empowerment. Hmm.
You understand? It's the same old whatever. And I am glad that now our people are getting like this. Is in Anambra. I've described Christmas. But they don't like it. And that's bringing it down to trivial level. I don't know who is banked in the head of Adidas that no longer do. It cannot.
At one point, something has to give.
It can no longer be business as usual. It can no longer be. He said the last time gratuities were paid, listen, to pensioners, because one day all of us will be pensioners. As I am now,
that's true.
Virtually like a pensioner.
That's true.
The last gratuities were paid in 2017.
My God.
20 and gratuities. You could just put them in a small envelope. That's how
small.
Once the politicians go
So
and go,
small.
they put their own inside. Ghana must go and put it in bullion funds and so on and so forth. The pensioners' own, we're supposed to do inside the envelope. You don't even give to them. The last time they were paid was in 2017.
Some of the governments will buy, SUVs worth almost $1 billion for lawmakers, and your pensioner there. There.
I feel like it's
Very exhausting.
Because it's beginning to affect. Just this morning, I was having a discussion with a colleague from a TV station, and I said that I'm tired because there are things that we shouldn't even be talking about. How can I say, as if I've born and I need my country, they've not been paid since 2017? So how do I will take you on? I don't know what you know. Excuse me, I don't even this man to bed every day, knowing God paid your pension since 20.
Okay, so what are they supposed to use the rice for?
Maybe to sell, because there's no money to buy soup ingredients. If we are going to just split hairs about it and try to make it light before somebody in the studio bursts into tears. Very unfortunate.
Quite unfortunate.
It's almost becoming a curse to be a Nigerian.
Quite unfortunate.
We can't get the simplest things right. And you keep rubbing it in our noses. What's the National Assembly?
Yes.
I thought that there would have been a committee that would include the Attorney General and so on. What do I use it? What would it that you turn all of us into stark notice? We say, sorry, I mean, that's not that. It's honestly, it's enough to run a man crazy.
It's really exhausting.
Things become so difficult. Maybe a baby who is born today will be thinking, oh, but for those of us who have seen good governance in this country, well, what's this all about? And indeed, even if the Attorney General thought that it was illegal,
right,
he should have held it after the president had gone to
right.
So what's the whole at the end of the day, also to the major problems that we are talking about is no immediate solution.
Bottom line.
That's the bottom line.
Bottom line. Jimmy, what's coming up at 9?
Well, at 9, I'm having Mrs. Fashano. We want to see how I need her to address the public, our people, on how we can provide housing, mortgages for the poor and the middle class. The rich people, as usual, a lot of them will work government money.
Right.
I need her to come and discuss how we organize mortgages.
We still don't even know how to practice mass housing project. I mean, it was done in the past, but lately successive government have failed to.
I saw in the papers somewhere just this morning that the Lagos State government,
the ones that people cannot afford.
250. Well, I don't know. So they have some 250 houses in that.
People cannot afford that. Those houses.
I don't know why you.
Sorry.
No, because it's let's just leave it, Sheriff. Let me come back at 9.
We'll do that at 9. We'll be streaming on Facebook and YouTube. Jimmy.
I want to not focus on national issues anymore.
Right.
Just maybe do Jimi or do something to lighten the heart. I'm serious. Because this program should be, what we should be looking at really are critical issues. But every day you look at the most silly, mundane and silly of. The president has said he's going somewhere, then the Attorney General stops him in his tracks. And didn't you plan this thing? And how can anybody put up any excuse for this now?
Jimmy, thank you. Right now, we have the British Deputy High Commissioner, Mr. Ben Llewellyn-Jones, who will be joining me in the studio to talk about the Human Rights Day, which is today.
Nigeria in real videos at Nigeria for from Temple 3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info. Nigeria Info. Live up to Nigeria Info.